What is cell cycle? Cell cycle is the life cycle of an individual cell. In dividing cells, the following four phases can be distinguished: G1 phase or interphase, S phase or DNA synthesis, G2 phase, and mitosis phase or M phase. Cells that do not divide are said to be in the G0 phase. Why must cells undergo cell division? 1. Multicellular organisms must replace dead cells. 2. Multicellular organisms must repair damaged tissues. 3. Multicellular organisms must grow. What are the phases of the cell cycle? Phases of the cell cycle. 1. M phase or mitosis phase. Chromosomes are separated into two nuclei, and nuclei are apportioned into two separate cells. 2. Interphase. Period of active metabolism, growth, processing of nutrients and energy. Briefly describe how cell cycle is controlled. Control of cell division and the cell cycle. Regulated by growth factors, proteins that promote cell division such as MPF or mitotic promoting factor. MPF is a kinase enzyme, one that switches on, off-target cell cycle proteins by phosphorylating them. Phosphorylating means adding a phosphate group to them. MPF promotes entrance into mitosis from the G2 phase by phosphorylating multiple proteins during mitosis, including one that leads to destruction of cyclin itself. CDK or cyclin-dependent kinase is a cell division control protein, is active only when bound to cyclin. Cyclin is a protein whose amount varies cyclically throughout interphase. When in high concentrations, binds to CDK makes MPF that favors mitosis. Define G0. G0 is a stage not part of the cell cycle occupied by cells that are not actively cycling, in other words, are not progressing toward cell division. Such cells are referred to as being quiescent. The G0 state is distinct from the state of proliferating cells in any phase of their cycle. For example, the rate of protein synthesis is drastically reduced. It is the ability to enter G0 that accounts for the enormous variability of the length of the cell cycle in multicellular organisms. Define G1. G1 is a stage of the cell cycle, after mitosis and before the initiation of DNA synthesis. Constitutes part of the interphase. The greatest variation in the length of stages of the cell cycle in most of the commonly studied cell types occurs in the duration of G1. Define G2. G2 is a stage of the cell cycle after DNA synthesis and before mitosis. Constitutes part of interphase.